Here's a little true crime from Arkansas. The drifter turned predator. The chilling crimes of James Wayburn Red Hall, the Arkansas hitchhike killer. In the shadowy world of American true crime, few stories are as haunting as that of James Wayburn Red Hall, the man infamously dubbed the Arkansas hitchhike killer. With a face that could disarm and a demeanor that evoked pity or camaraderie, Hall turned the open road into a hunting ground. Behind his soft-spoken southern drawl and wandering lifestyle was a cold-blooded killer who confessed to taking the lives of at least 24 individuals, most of whom had offered him nothing more than a ride and a bit of kindness. Born in the early 20th century in Arkansas, James Wayburn Hall was a drifter by circumstance and choice. With no stable home or reliable work, he roamed the American South and Midwest, often hitching rides to get from town to town. To those who met him, Hall was often quiet, unassuming, even charming, traits that would later play a crucial role in his string of calculated murders. In a time when hitchhiking was common and often considered safe, Hall used it as a gateway to blend into the lives of strangers. His victims were almost always unsuspecting Good Samaritans, truckers, salesmen, families, and single drivers whose only mistake was opening their car doors to a man in need. Hall's killing spree spanned several years, largely across Arkansas and neighboring states. His modus operandi was chilling in its simplicity: gain the trust of the driver, then strike when least expected. Often, the murders were committed with a blunt instrument or a knife, and Hall would steal money, vehicles, or possessions before vanishing onto the next highway. By the time law enforcement began to see a pattern in the rash roadside slayings, Hall was already several steps ahead, changing his appearance, using aliases, and moving quickly through rural areas that lacked coordinated policing. It wasn't until his arrest in the late 1930s, reportedly after a bungled robbery, that the full extent of his crimes began to come to light. During intense interrogations, Hall made a staggering confession. He had killed at least 24 people. Some investigators believed the actual number could be higher, but lack of evidence and the transient nature of his crimes made confirmation difficult. What shocked detectives the most wasn't just the body count. It was Hall's eerie composure. He described the killings in grim detail, rarely showing emotion, as if recounting a job well done. His motives seemed less about rage or passion and more about opportunity, a cold calculus of risk and reward. He had no remorse, one investigator later said. To him, people were just tools to be used and discarded. He was eventually convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment, where he died behind bars. His crimes left a scar on the American psyche and transformed public perception of hitchhiking, once seen as a harmless mode of travel, now regarded with deep suspicion. The media dubbed him the Arkansas hitchhike killer, but to the families of his victims, he was something far worse, a predator who exploited trust and kindness for his own violent ends. James Wayburn Hall's story remains a grim reminder of how evil can wear a friendly face and how the most dangerous threats sometimes ride in the passenger seat. Whew. Pretty grim. Stick around for more. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.